Yo, guys, welcome back to the Lambeth Made podcast. I'm your host, Karima.
Hi, I'm Sasha.
And today we are here with...
Lucien.
Hi, Lucien, and welcome to the Lambeth Made podcast. Tell us about yourself and tell us why you're here today.
First of all, can I say thank you for having me? Yeah. I'm here because I guess you guys invited me as a whole. Mm-hmm. I guess you guys are going to just question me and interrogate me today about what it's like to live in Lambeth, work in Lambeth, just my experiences in general about the area.
Okay. So obviously, yes, I do want to find out about you living in Lambeth and how that might have shaped you. So before I get into that, can you actually answer that question?
What it's like to live in Lambeth?
Yeah, or do you think like it shaped you in any way?
Or do I think it shaped me? Of course, like I was born and raised in Lambeth. Yeah. I was born in Kings, went to primary school in Clapham, and then went to secondary school. Further, I went to secondary school in Merton, but I've always lived in the area.
Yeah. I heard that you said that you think that Lambeth is a really multicultural place, and I definitely agree with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I said in the rest of my statement, it's going through a lot of change, which everyone knows, and everyone's got their own opinions on that, whether that's for better or for worse. And of course, working with Spiral, I'm currently working on the International House project.
Yeah.
But I guess we can go into that later on.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Where do I start? Raised by a lone parent, but raised by a mother. Like I said, I went to school in Clapham, primary school. Went to several different secondary schools. Went to sixth form, and then ended up going to uni for 1 year, and then COVID hit. I was doing architecture, which wasn't really for me because I like to be a lot more hands-on. It's a lot more, engineering and theory-based, and I realised. So then, through the whole COVID thing, I was stuck at home, with my mum. Yeah. That was just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But, I survived and I thrived, and I'm here today. But in general, I grew up doing quite a lot of youth activities. I did carbs, scouts. I did police cadets.
Yeah.
The whole shebang where you're just going through primary school and your parents tend to shove you into these things, and you're okay, cool. And I did what else did I do? Yeah, I used to go to the Brixton Rec a lot, so I've seen the whole change of Brixton Rec from when it was absolutely mashed up, and then it was connected to the car park, and it's I don't know, it's gone through a lot of change. Okay. That area.
Before I give the floor to my co-host, I just wanted to ask you. I read in the brief that you said when you dropped out of uni, you went through a transformative self-discovery journey. So I kind of really want to know, what did you learn about yourself?
I don't know if it's what I learned. I think it was just developing more on what I already knew, which was that, I wanted to be more hands-on in terms of my career, and I wanted to just go and be more creative because I'm a creative. I do photography. And if I get the chance, the money or the space, I'd like to do more carpentry work, which is what I do. That's my job. I'm a carpenter apprentice for Lambeth Council. But I'd like to definitely create my own projects.
So you've mentioned you work as a carpenter apprentice.
Yes.
So what was the process from applying as an apprentice to then starting working as one?
So I really was a whole route of getting connected to Lambeth Council. So I worked with Spiral, somebody through Spiral. This was after COVID was kind of ending. Mm-hmm. I was looking for a mentor to kind of establish where I want to be in life, because I was just working at an art gallery quite a lot. I worked at the South London Gallery in Peckham. Mm-hmm. I was doing invigilating and duty managing, and it was quite repetitive. Or it's a lot of the same thing. So I was talking to somebody about what their job was, which was being a technician, so working with artists to like install and develop artistic ideas in the gallery space. So I was interested in that because it's very hands-on. And then they were like going through a lot of projects, so they didn't really have the time to like help me out. So I was like, okay, someone needs to like help me out. How do I get into this kind of role?
Yeah.
So like I said, I went to Spiral. Somebody was like mentoring me, and they were like, okay, if you're interested in like, architecture, the trades, that kind of stuff, have you thought about talking to this company, which was Construction Youth Trust based in Bermondsey? So then I went to them. I was spending a lot of time with them through the summer holidays. I earned my CSCS card. Yeah, I was going. It was a very good experience, which I definitely recommend to anybody who's interested in dabbling or learning what the trades are kind of like. They're a very good company. They'll help you out. Shout out to Sharon. Yeah, and then they connected me to Lambeth Council. There was a trades day. Lambeth Council they were applying for their first ever apprentices. I work with a company called Community Works, where all the work that goes on within Lambeth is in-house rather than outsourcing to contractors. Would like everything that goes on, like in terms of like, yeah, exactly. Because contractors, when they take on work, it's very hard to manage and make sure that they do their work efficiently and properly. So that's been going on for 2 years. So like I said, I started off with them. So I got my job through them, and I've been going for about, what are we in June? For July. Oh yeah, it's the first.
Yeah.
For about 4 months or so now. Okay,
Wow.
so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite a process.
Yeah, it's quite a process.
You went from architecture to carpentry. Where did that spark come from? Or have you always had an interest in?
I've always had an interest in the urban environment, buildings and design, art, everything to do with just design in general. I wanted to get into architecture to, be able to create more, but it was just a lot of, like I said, you're chucked into first year, or at least where I was going to university, which was De Montfort in Leicester. You're chucked in, and it's a lot of. It's not for everyone. Like I said, I'm more of a creative.
Yeah.
So I kind of like didn't do that and was spending the majority of my time playing lacrosse with my team.
So, what have been like the best parts of your role, and what have been the challenges?
I guess the best parts are still to come because it's early days in the role. But working for the council, you have a quota to meet, and like I said, it's the first time they've taken on apprentices. There's 3 apprentices currently. The other 2 are doing groundworks, which is like working with concrete, building brick walls and slabs and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like, right now it's kind of hard to cater fully towards apprentices because everyone has their job to do. So I guess that's like the current struggle. I'm currently going to college and I'm trying to build a portfolio of certain things that I need to do within carpentry. But recently I got told that we're going to be doing a certain type of job which is beneficial to me and building my portfolio, so that's good.
Do you like being like an apprentice? I heard you said that like it's like going to college and then like, do you like it? Would you recommend it?
Oh no, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're at the age where you can become an apprentice, because I was at an apprentice day at the Oval in Kennington, and I was speaking to a young guy and he was like, oh, I'm going to college full time, and I was like, oh man, because as an apprentice you're hands-on and you earn money as well. Yeah. Now, whether you think that's a good thing or not, I don't know. It's up to you, because the wage that I'm on is pretty decent for an apprentice.
Yeah.
But when you're at college full time. There's nothing. It's like being at school again, which
Literally.
I don't like, because you know, everyone's got their own experiences. There are good times and whatnot, but if there's one thing I don't like about being in school, is when people talk down to you teachers and whatnot. They think they're better than you. Rare.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing.
Yeah. So you would recommend it, but how do you get into it? Because I feel like I've tried to understand that route, but I don't know how to like get into
Well,
it.
it's different for everyone. I guess it really depends on what you're looking for, and that's I guess one thing. Whether it's with Spiral or any other youth company, I want to like just create a big, you know, website or a place where people can go, and young people, old people, anyone of any age, and they can look at any sort of genre of what they're looking to get into, whether it's sports, science, you know, the trades, and say, this is an apprenticeship I'm looking for. Where can I go to like find more information about this? Because generally, when you're looking online, it's like you might get directed to your local council website or the gov.dot website, and then it's like you're stonewalled. That's it. You're going through a whole link, and it just keeps on repeating itself. So it is hard, but like I said, it really depends on what you're looking for. If I was a young person and I was just looking for anything at all, I would just look for a youth company. I think that's probably the best route. Looking for any youth company
That
is
wants to inspire and like
Grow the root.
yeah, exactly. That's probably your best route, because they have tons of connections,
literally.
and then
It
they
sounds
can
like
and then they can reach out and try and get you into an apprenticeship if possible.
Cool.
Is there anything that motivates you or like keeps you going?
To get my own place, I need to move out, man.
Don't push. Don't like.
Nah,
rush
yeah,
that.
nah,
That
yeah,
is
don't
a
rush the whole
nother-
process,
I
and
swear to God,
yeah.
Once you move out, like right now, the loneliness is hitting me. And you have to be cooking. Be happy
I
that you're at home.
know.
Be happy that you're at home. It's stressful. I'm telling you for
But
real.
yeah, I know. But I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm not making things easy for my parents either. Like, I
so you wanna
I
be,
could
like,
be making
free.
things. Yeah, exactly. I want to
Wanna
be
be
free
free.
to do.
Yeah.
Have friends around.
Literally.
I want to be able to explore more. So I think it is a case of me currently saving up money to just be able to like explore the world and go out and do whatnot.
Yeah. Because I feel like, let me just add on to that. I feel like money is important. It's not like important, but it's important in the sense where it can like open up new doors.
Yes.
So the fact that you want to like invest in yourself, invest in like your craft, that's very commendable. And just keep going. You'll get there one day.
Thank you. Hopefully, yes.
You keep mentioning Spiral. Do you mean Spiral Skills?
I do mean Spiral. Okay, yeah. So Spiral, yeah. Well, you'll get. I'll just like mention Spiral. Yeah, Spiral. So Spiral Skills.
I was confused.
Yes.
I've been to Spiral before. I know Spiral's a great organization. Shout out to you, Spiral. I need to look up to you more a bit. But yeah, no. So how did you get involved in Spiral?
So like I said earlier, it was just a case of me looking online. There's, like I said, I was working at an art gallery quite a lot, and if you're involved in the arts, you know that there's an arts website, and you'll go on there and there'll be anything catered towards the arts, and on there in terms of jobs or opportunities.
Yeah.
And I looked on there and they were like, oh, we're offering like mentoring, so I then reached out to them, and that's where I started off working with Spiral. I wasn't working with the people that I'm currently working with.
Yeah.
That was when I started working on like the, Brixton projects and whatnot. But that was my first, interaction with them.
Shout out to Spiral, inspiring the youth. But yeah, so what have you learned about like the carpentry industry, or even yourself, like through your job?
It's a tricky question, because when you talk about carpentry, there's a lot to it. Like, I applied for another job before I got my current job.
Yeah.
And then there were certain problems that I had, so I had to like say I can't work for you at the moment.
Yeah.
But that was in like site carpentry, kind of like building, also set carpentry rather, building sets for like all sorts of things, which it could have been TVs, movies. So there's a lot. There's like, you got your typical building furniture and then just selling it on, or you got building, bespoke work and then installing it in like kitchens and bathrooms and whatnot.
Yeah.
So there's different levels to it.
Yeah.
And you can continue to learn. And I'm watching people online on YouTube, and the level that they're working at is just crazy to me.
YouTube is a
They're
great
working
platform.
they're just, I think, being in America, so I think for sourcing materials, it's a lot easier because you've got all sorts of woods and whatnot. But they're working with wood and resin, and they're building great big slabs and selling them on for like thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
But like it's a continuous learning process.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've like dug a lot into like your occupation and like career work. I want to like delve more into like, I don't know, like your growing up, childhood, I guess, college life. Because you said you went to Wimbledon College, and like, what was that like? What was school like for you?
Yeah, it was. It was a good time. I went to Wimbledon College, and I got into trouble on a couple of occasions. But then once that happened, like nobody started to trouble me again. Let's just say. But apart from that, no, it was definitely a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
It was an all boys school. No, you can take from that what you want, but it was fine because there was a girls' school down the road, Ursuline.
I feel like that always happens.
Yeah, no,
they always have like a girls' squad.
I wasn't one of the ones that was going all crazy or whatnot, but when I was hanging out with my friends, my friendship, when I'd go home or whatever, I'd see a lot of madness was going on. But but yeah, it was definitely a good time. Some good teachers. Well, the majority of the teachers I had were good.
I just want to like commend you because I feel like I don't know a lot about you, but I just feel like you're on a great path, especially because the fact that you said that you grew up like in a single parent household, and like some boys they go on a different route because they don't have that father figure. But I feel like you've got a good head on your shoulders and you're destined for greatness.
No, definitely, yeah. I've got good family members around me, good friends. Yeah. My mum's a teacher as well, so that was like a thing of you go from A to B and you come straight home. She wasn't one of those people that let me like mingle about.
Yeah.
And especially where it was like there were a few times when I went out with people because Wimbledon is pretty far away from where I live. If you're taking a train, it's a couple like maybe half an hour or so. But when it gets late and you're trying to get home, that's when I'm getting the calls. Where are you doing? So yeah, it was a thing of basically don't be on the roads at the wrong time because all sorts of stuff is happening.
So you mentioned you're creative, right?
Yes.
And do you have any like interests in any like other interests apart from carpentry? But
yeah, so I'm interested in photography, which I have been taking a little break from, but I'm gonna start going out and shooting again on the streets. I'm into street photography. Any photographers out there are gonna be like, but you got photographers that are like, what's street photography? And there's a certain group of people that'll be like, oh, that's not street photography, or that's street. If I'm going out on the street and I'm shooting people or architecture or whatever, to me that's street photography. That's it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But yeah, I love going out and just capturing whatever I see. Sometimes I'm not even looking for an artistic aspect in it in the photos. Whether it's your rule of thirds or all the other things, you're looking for a relationship between, I don't know, a pigeon and a person or something, something random like that. Sometimes just trying to capture whatever's there in front of me. But I think it's just nice to just be able to go out and just lose yourself in the time, in the moment, and then capture new moments which get lost to time. But yeah, I love going out, and there's a really cool group online on social media called UK Shooters, and I think I'm currently like yearning for the next big project because they're really cool group of people which creatives can just go out and meet together and just shoot whatever they've got going on.
Well, I read that when you came out of uni, you like created like a collaborative, like you collaborated with, was it Spiral or who did you collaborate with? Because I have a point I want to make.
So I think it would be if you're referring to like bricks and projects and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be everything really that I'm currently working on it all revolves around Spiral skills. I have worked with other people like beyond the box and whatnot, but I think they're currently working more in like East London and North. But yeah, Spiral skills is where I'm working right now.
Okay, because I feel like collaborating with people is amazing. I feel like you get to bring out different uses from each other. You get to like learn new things. So what kind of things did you pick up when you've indulged in different projects that you were in, I guess?
It's just the meeting new people is obviously it's gonna be the big aspect of any part of project you're taking part in. And the work that goes into it. Shout out to Joe. He's a very big part in it, and like I think he knows the kind of person I am. When I tend to meet new people, I might take my time about
I'm a bit like that.
feeling them out. But I'm always like reaching out to this guy. I'm like turning up to all the projects. I'm like, if you got anything catered towards what I'm interested in, which is like gonna be the arts and the trades and stuff, because I want to like establish that kind of that kind of new roots in that kind of area within young people. That he'll reach out to me and he'll say, "Oh, this is this opportunity." But yeah.
So you said that like with your current job, you've worked there 4 months. So do you see yourself like doing this for life, or do you have like other? I know that you do photography. But...
Yeah. It depends on where the company goes on in the future. You know, there's a lot of change that could happen within the next couple of years whilst I'm doing this apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a group of ladies when I went out to meet my friend one day, and they were like, just stay on with the company because you know it's working with the council. It's essentially a secure job, and if you really want to create your own business, do that on the side. And I was like, you know, it's key advice, it's sound advice, but I do really want to, you know, go and explore, you know, other aspects of carpentry, which, you know, like I said, it's a very big world out there. Whether that would be traveling to somewhere like Japan or I don't know, any like countries around like Sweden or something, because their carpentry is that I've never seen anything like it. It's crazy the work that they put into it. I do want to explore in the future. I don't know for sure where what my future holds.
Like, none of us do actually.
No one does. No one does.
This just living each day.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you like about like being a carpenter? Like what fuels you?
I feel like when I get involved in art, I can become a little bit, I don't know if I'd say a little bit, like meticulous about what I'm, if that's even the right word. I don't even know if I'm using that word correctly, but it's that process of actually having something in your mind, envisioning it, and then creating it and putting it, you know, it's, you know, like you would pen to paper if you're like writing a poem. It's the same process, but it's like you've got a lot of materials, a lot of, you know, woods, but carpentry isn't just wood, but that's the key, you know, material that everybody thinks of when creating. You know, you've got a lot of ways of combining, I don't know, and joining things together and creating this final piece, and that's something I like to do. Like I said, I'm hands-on.
Okay, that's cool. I feel like you said that you've always had an interest in architecture and like that kind of field. So that's what kind of fueled your like passion to, I guess, dive into it. But you also took the big risk of like dropping out of uni, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. So, what advice would you give to like someone who, I don't know, doesn't really know what they want to do, and maybe wants to drop out of uni?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the best person to give that advice because, like I said, I was at uni and COVID hit. I remember I was in, one of the few times I was in the study hall. I was like, called up my mum. Oh, mum, the other university, which is you got De Montfort and then you got Leicester University, which two different universities. Leicester getting sent home because of the COVID. She was like, nothing's happening. Next thing you know, I'm based at home, and architecture is not one of the best subjects you can be studying at university to be stuck at home. When you need access to materials and certain creative software.
Yeah.
It's just like it wasn't nice for anybody around the world. Let's be honest. But like I said, it wasn't as hard of a decision for me to make because I was not in the right mind space to be doing any work. Once the uni got themselves sorted and sent me whatever they needed, I wasn't doing anything, and I had a couple of things I needed to retake anyway, and I was like, you know what, one is I'm not interested in it anymore. So that was the process of me dropping out of uni. I was like, I'm not gonna go back. I'm not interested.
Well, it looks like that route has paid off for you.
Yeah,
It pays
definitely.
off for a lot of people, I see. Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
So do you have any advice you'd give to someone who was potentially thinking of going into carpentry?
Do your research, go online. I think carpentry is one of the things where it's not something that people tend to think of. So if you are interested in it, you would definitely know beforehand. It will be because you're going to a museum a lot, or you're seeing a lot of woodwork or a lot of things being built, or you're watching a lot of YouTube. Like I've always been into carpentry, before me getting the job. Like I said, I watch a lot of YouTube DIYers, like carpenters making things, building things.
Yeah.
I've been into people in the building industry, for example Asheville. He's a very big person in the building industry, building up his society in that field. I've always been interested in that kind of work. But if you're genuinely interested, do your research beforehand.
Okay. I think we're gonna soon roll up.
No, yeah.
But what advice would you give to somebody that might be intrigued into going into the apprentice route, and what advice would you get on how to get into it?
Reach out to a local youth group if that's possible. If not, you're gonna have to go online. Going online is it can be hard, but you're gonna have to learn how to word certain things because it's not as easy as just typing in one sentence. You're gonna have to look to word things differently, and you'll find your way.
Yeah. It's been great talking to you, Lucien, and you've got a great head on your shoulders. And I wish you the best in life. You've given us a lot of experience, and thank you for being here today.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, can we find your social media anywhere?
I'm not giving out no socials. No,
We didn't see the link.
no.
Okay. Well, thank you, and we out.
Bye.